Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tips from the Top, Meet Your Upline edition. And tonight it is an honor and a privilege to introduce my direct upline, my very dear friend, and our amazing rock star leader, Ellen Ford, she's going to be leading our call tonight. And y'all, Ellen is if you don't know kind of the story about us, her and her husband are very, very dear friends of ours. I mean, we've been friends for over 12 years. And so I have thankfully grown even more closer to her through this journey. I am so incredibly thankful for her friendship and for her leadership. Y'all, we have an amazing leaders on this team that lead by example. She is a Diamond Senior Gold Ambassador. And in case you don't know what that means, when you hit Diamond, which is the very top of the company, you are able to re-enter underneath yourself. So she has re-entered underneath herself, and she has actually gone Senior Gold on her second leg. So she is just rocking it. I love her. And I'm so incredibly thankful that she has been on our call tonight. So she is going to share her testimony with us and then some tips along the way. And if you have questions that you would like to ask her, feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat. And at the end, we'll do a little question and answer section. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Ellen.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for that introduction. Y'all have an incredible leader in ENG, and she is a dynamo, and I'm super excited to be with you guys tonight. The only thing that I ask is, Angie, if you can mute everybody again, because there's several people that aren't muted, and then I'll just unmute myself if you mute me. Okay, I think that was everybody. And because I wish I could like concentrate through that, but I can't. So anyway, thank you guys for having me on the call tonight. I'm really excited to share with you, but I will just dive right in to a little bit about me and how I started Plexus. I am coming up on my almost 3-year anniversary with Plexus. I joined on New Year's Eve of 2013. And I joined on a special. I did not really realize that at the time, but actually joined on a New Year's special. And I'll tell you a little bit about me before Plexus. I am a mom and a wife, and my husband is in full-time ministry. I have been a paralegal for 17 years in both the law firm environment and the corporate environment, and my husband is running the vacuum right now. I hope y'all can't hear that. He likes the vacuum at night. Anyway, it's like distracting. So my husband's in full-time ministry. I'm a mother of, they are just turned 10 in October, 10-year-old twins, Jake and Emma, and I've been a paralegal for 17 years. So I have always worked outside the home, and we've always juggled that full-time ministry job. And if you know anything about ministry, it is not 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. It is 24/7, 365, because people's crisis does not usually happen Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So we were already super busy before Plexus. My son was in football and lacrosse. My daughter was in gymnastics and cheer and lacrosse. So we were running here, there, and everywhere. And the last thing I had time to do was to add something additional to my plate. But fast forward back to December of 2013, I had seen a friend of mine posting on Facebook just out of the blue about this crazy Plexus stuff. And I reached out to her, happened to reach out to her on New Year's Eve, and had seen a couple of her posts and just asked, what is this crazy stuff you're selling? Because, what are the things that you think about on New Year's Eve? You think about, okay, for real this time, we're going to get back on our eating plan. For real this time, we're going to get out of debt. For real this time, we are going to stick to what we say we're going to do at the beginning of the year, and we're going to do it. And so my husband wanted to lose some weight, and he wanted to go back to a diet center that he went to before, but it was crazy expensive and very, very hard to stick to it. So when I saw my friend Andrea posting on Facebook about Plexus, I initially thought she was nuts, thought she'd been hacked. Then she was annoying. I went through all the whole gamut of she's bothering me, she's blowing up my news feed, she's annoying. Then it goes from, oh my gosh, why does she keep doing this? What is this stuff? I got to ask her about it. Boom, reached out and asked her. So when I joined, she told, I said, what is this pink drink stuff you keep posting about? What does it do? And she told me, and guys, honestly, I don't even know what she said, because she's my friend. I trust her. And I thought, well, if she's doing it, it must be legit, because I went to church with her. And Angie, can you mute everybody again? We got a couple of people not muted, and I hear like the TV in the background. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like, get ADD super easy. You still on, Angie? I guess you are somewhere. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Yes. Can y'all hear me? Okay. So when I joined, I reached out to my friend. I'm like, what is this stuff? And she told me, and again, I didn't really pay that much attention. I'm like, well, if you say it's good, I believe you. And I said, I want to order some of that for Barry, my husband. And she said, well, the cheapest way you can do it is to join. You don't have to sell. You don't have to do anything. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That's one of those things. And that's no, I'm not doing it. And she said, seriously, you do not have to do anything if you don't want to. And so I thought, well, all right, I trust you. And so I joined for strictly the discount, no expectations, was not going to do anything with business. I told her on Messenger that night, girl, I will never sell this stuff. I'm way too busy. Plus it's like network marketing. So I didn't really tell my husband that I joined, because I knew he would probably kill me, because it's network marketing and we were in a very tight budget. If you know anything about Dave Ramsey, that's how we lived. And there was not an envelope for Plexus. So I just spent money and we didn't talk about it. And I thought, we need to do this. We need to get back on our diet, back on, our good eating plan. So when the products came, my husband was not excited. He was like, what have you done? We got to make up the money you put into it. And then we got to stop this, because it's going to be one of those things that charges you and you get all this stuff. And I'm like, no, she said, we're not going to get anything. So we started on the triplex when we got our products. And within 3 days, I was off of Dr. Pepper. And I was drinking Dr. Pepper all day at work. Huge Dr. Pepper fiend, sugar addict. I loved candy and sugar in the afternoon, because that's when I hit my wall at work. And my husband's from Louisiana, and he ate heavy Louisiana food. And within 3 days, we were like, there is something up, because I'm not craving Dr. Pepper. You're not eating as much. This is weird. It can't be Plexus yet, because we just tried it. We've only been on it at 3 days. So another couple of days went by, and I remember very vividly, I had slept through the night all the way. And I had not slept through the night since I had kids, and they were, older. So I was thinking, all this stuff, there's something up with this Plexus stuff. And so my husband started sleeping through the night, because usually, we'd wake up 4:00, get up, have to go to the bathroom, go back to sleep, can't go back to sleep. And then by the time the alarm goes off, you are so exhausted, and then you've got to start your day. So we were like, this is crazy. We love this stuff. And he's the one that encouraged me to post something on Facebook about it. And I was very against it. I'm like, I am not going to be one of those people. and I'm not selling it. So I don't want anybody to know I am. And so he said, well, just put that I'm your Plexus guinea pig, and we'll leave it at that. So one morning before work, I got up, found this cute picture of a guinea pig, and I posted it on my wall, and I went to work and just said, Barry is my Plexus guinea pig, and he has lost, so I can't remember how much weight he had lost, but like a few pounds, not anything huge. And I went to work, and I checked my phone when I got to work, and my inbox had blown up with people wanting to know what I was doing and wanting to know how they could order and what products they should take and what Barry was doing. And I was so shocked because I didn't go into this to sell anything. I just posted on social media and went to work, and then all of a sudden people were wanting to know what I'm doing. And you know what? When somebody wants to order from you or buy from you, you know what? You find your website real quick, because my first goal was to cover the cost of my products. And instantly I got customers. A girl in my Sunday school class had seen Andrea welcome me or post a picture on my wall of me joining Plexus. She immediately messaged me and said, how do I do this Plexus stuff? I'm like, girl, I have no idea. I was like, I don't even know if you want to do it or not, because I definitely don't know what I'm doing. I just started. So she joined. I took samples up to work the next day when I got my products in. I took samples up to work to a girl that I worked with that was a really good friend of mine. I'm like, girl, you have to try this stuff. I have no idea what it's going to do to you, but just try it. It tastes good. And she tasted it, loved it. And she did a 3-day trial pack. She lost 1 pound over the weekend while she was eating bad. And she was like, girl, I'm all over this. How do I sign up? So she signed up. And then I signed up my husband to go silver back in the day. And my first month I made $400 with Plexus. So I'm like, okay, this is like legit money, not like other network marketing companies where you make 39 cents for the month. But this is real money. And I remember getting that check and being all excited and showing my husband, and he was kind of shocked. He was like, wow. He's like, well, let's just see if that continues. And all I knew, I posted on Facebook, and I asked my friends to come try the products and come join my team. And I kept doing that. The next month I made $800. The next month I made $1,500. The next month I made $3,000. And within 5 months with Plexus, I was making more with Plexus than I was at my corporate paralegal job. It was probably the pinnacle of my career as far as jobs. It was the job that I've always wanted forever and ever and ever. And I got that job at that company in that legal department. And I was making more with Plexus than I was there. And when I got that first $400 check, the light switch came on for me as far as I'm going to quit my job. My true desire was to stay home with my kids, but that was never possible for us. And, with my husband being in ministry and me working, that just wasn't something that we could do. And so I had to work. And, you try to convince yourself that you love your job and you love your company, you love everything about it. But deep down, you don't love it. You want to be doing what you want to be doing. You want to have financial freedom. You want to be home with your kids. That's what I wanted. And I was afraid to tell my husband that, because I knew if I voiced that dream or I said, I want to stay home with my kids, he would tell me no, because he was the one looking at the numbers. He was the one with the Excel spreadsheet. And so that very first month with Plexus, when I made $400, I knew it was like God's like, this is the path that I want you to go on. You just trust me. You keep doing what you're doing and you work hard. You're going straight to the top and you're going to be home with those babies. So I ended up with Plexus. I ranked up every month. I went silver my first month, gold my second month, senior gold my third month, and on and on and on. I went emerald in 11 months while working full time. I ended up going, and that was on Thanksgiving Day of 2014. I woke up and I was emerald. And that day, my husband was like, girl, you can quit your job whenever you want. And so we started making a plan for me to stay home with the kids. And in March of 2015, I went Sapphire. And in May 29th of 2015, I retired from my job and I was home with my kids the first day they got out for summer. So I achieved my ultimate why, my ultimate dream in 16 months of being with Plexus. And I ended up going diamond in July of 2015 and then being able to re-enter in September of 2015. So I am a Diamond Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus. And I just basically did what my uplines told me to do. And the biggest thing that I did, I believe, is I wanted it so bad that I was willing to do whatever it took. And I wasn't going to sit back. I wasn't going to just sit back and expect other people to do something. I'm a go-getter. And if you put something out there in front of me, like my kids, and which, you know, they were, when I was working, they would go, Mommy, why can't you pick us up at 3:00 with all the other mommies? We don't want to go to after school care. You know, I would miss their parties at school because I had to work or couldn't get off. I missed a lot of stuff. And I decided that when I started working Plexus, I refused. I absolutely got to the point where I got angry of where I was. I got angry about missing my kids' parties. And I decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. And whatever it took, how long it took, I did not care. If it took me 5 years, you know what? That's 5 years less I'm going to have to work at that job. I didn't care how long it took. I was doing it. And I think that is very important, that we have to get almost angry about where we are currently. And if you're not angry about where you are and you refuse to be there any longer, you will be at that same place next year. When you get angry about where you currently are and you're like, I'm not going to be like this anymore. We're not going to barely scrape by. We're not going to miss out on things because we don't have the money. We're not doing that anymore. And you turn and you go toward your goal. If you have that desire in your heart and you are willing to do whatever it takes, you will go to the top. It's when we don't have the desire to do whatever it takes is when things kind of level off. But I put a couple of tips together for you guys tonight on it's the reason I feel these top tips, I guess Angie is saying, is are things that I did for my business that I know is why I'm at where I am and why I continue to grow my team. And if y'all have something to write with, I'll give you a couple of minutes. I got to take a drink real quick. Well, not take a drink, but drink some water. The first tip that we're going to talk about is you have to prioritize. What does that mean, really? What is a priority? If you think about it, a priority is something that is more important than something else. And I think you have to put Plexus as a priority in your life. And a lot of people are kind of like, they get their feathers ruffled when I say this, because they're like, my family comes first. My family comes first and Plexus is second. It's like, if your family comes first, then you will do whatever it takes to make them a priority. If you say my family's first, yet you're drowning in debt, you're working 2 jobs, you spend hours away from your family's not a priority. Whatever you want outside of that is a priority. If your family is a priority, you do everything possible to make sure they're first, make sure their future is taken care of, make sure you're debt free so you can just jump up and go buy them whatever they need. If your family is first, you have the extra money in the bank to go, y'all need new clothes. We're going to go do it and not even blink an eye. To get that medical care, to get whatever you need for them, and it's not an issue. To take that trip to Disney, and it's no brainer. Let's do every single thing we want to do at Disney. Boom, click, buy it. So Plexus has to be a priority in your life. If you are choosing this to be your plan B, Because most people, we float through life. We're like, oh, I got a job right out of college. Awesome. We think that's where we're supposed to be till we retire. And then family and the things we want just kind of fits into our job. And we work a lot of stuff around our job. And if we need more money, we add more hours to our job. Nobody up until network marketing came along really thought, I'm going to do network marketing on the side and make up that extra money instead of adding more hours here. It's a mindset shift that we have to do, but you got to put it as a priority. If Plexus is a priority for you, you need to be spending more than 30 minutes to an hour on it. I would say in your spare time, you need to be working Plexus. The way I did it when I worked is I got up every morning. I made sure I posted before I went to work. I had to be at my job, so I could not be on Facebook all day long, which actually you really can, because my bosses were on Facebook all day long. I would be going in their office, getting them to sign stuff, and they're like, oh, sorry, they're on Facebook. But I made it a part of my job, my corporate job. Every single day I had a spiral just like this, and I wrote down at the corner, I wrote my points, what my points were that day. And I wrote 5 blanks. I would write 1 through 5 or 1 through 10, whatever it was that day. And I would reach out to brand new people every single day I went to my job, because I knew if I do not set it a priority and I do not reach out and I do not work my business, I will be sitting at this desk next year. I will be, and think about like this, every day you do not reach out to new people, you do not follow up, you just scroll Facebook and post, that is 1 extra day that you will be where you are. And I got to the point where I just refused. I refused. So I put it as a priority. Every single day I went into my job, I'd log into my computer and I would try to get there before my boss so that I could do my reach outs. Because when I was at work, I was at work. I had to do work stuff. Every break I had, every lunch break I had, if my boss was out that day, I would get all my work done so that I could work Plexus. When I came home, I had to take, kids to practice, do homework, dinner, clean up the dishes, all that stuff. But that 9 to 11, 9 to midnight, worked Plexus. I listened to calls. I would message people. I would follow up. I would train. I would talk to the people in my downline and try to figure out how to get them ranked up. But I put it as a priority. I cut out time wasters. I didn't, y'all, the biggest time waster that we all have, I do it, I'm guilty, scrolling Facebook. We get in there, we scroll, and then we convince ourselves that we've worked an hour. Like, if I work my Plexus business an hour, it's like, no, you scrolled Facebook for an hour. I've been there. I've done that. I catch myself doing it. I have to stop. And one of the things that I've implemented into my business with this prioritization is before I scroll, like if I have to set up Buffer or these automatic posting tools, I will do it. Because the only reason you need to be on Facebook is to post and respond to the messages that you've gotten or send out messages. If you're sitting there and your thumb is doing this all day and you're not a diamond, you're wasting time. I just would not let myself do that because you get sucked in. We all do it. I do it. But put it as a priority to work your business. And I mean work like working your business is reaching out to brand new people and going, hey girl, have you ever heard of Plexus? Let me send you a sample. Hey girl, do you want to come do this with me? Come try the products, try the business with me. Come do it with me. Following up with your customers. If you have customers, you should know exactly when they ordered, when their auto ship's going through, what products they're taking, what products they're interested in. You should know all that tip of your tongue, because you know what? They may go, hey, I'm interested in doing the business. How do I join? But if you're not following up with them, they may not ask you that. So make Plexus a priority. And until it is a priority, none of the stuff that you want will ever happen. For me, I knew cutting out television at night, that was my issue. my husband and I used to waste hours watching all the shows. If you say, hey, did you see that episode about, and I'm going, nope, you don't even have to finish the sentence. Because guys, I got really convicted by God about wasting my life and wasting time watching TV at night, because I wanted my Plexus business to explode. I want to go to the top so fast, but I was still wasting a lot of time watching TV. And it was kind of like God was sitting there watching me watch TV going, I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you to cut this part of your life out that you are lazy in. I'm waiting on you, because when you cut that out, I'm taking you to the top. And guys, I cut out the month I cut out watching TV at night. And I'm not saying go throw your TV out in the yard. I'm not saying not watch your shows. That's why we have DVR. You can get caught up anytime you want. I was wasting time doing that. The month I cut that out, I made the leaderboard. My PV was over $4,000, and I signed up 7 people in that one week. So God was like, I told you I'd bless you, but you have to be committed to doing this. I'm going to take you where you want to go. I'm going to bring you home with your babies, but I need you to put this as a priority and be committed to it. So that was tip number 1. Tip number 2 is be organized. I'm kind of like disorganized, organized type person. I need lists. I need a plan. I need a pen where I can check it off every day. And you have to have a system in place if you want to be successful. If you just go, hey, I want to be gold by the end of March. Okay, that's not a goal until you put in place, what are the steps? How am I going to get to gold? Well, I don't know. Well, that you might as well cross that off your list, because that's not a goal that you're going to reach, because there's not an organized plan of how you're going to get there. If you're a note card person, have a system of note cards. If you're a spiral notebook person, write a list down of things you need to do every day. If you keep notes on your phone and you're super organized and have apps, go for it. But you've got to have a system in place. And I use the example of, let's say you want to go gold next month. So you need to add, let's say you have to add 4 people to your team this month in order to go gold next month. You don't just go, hey, I want to go gold next month. That's my goal. Okay, well, how you getting there? Well, let's break that goal down. I like to go, okay, if you want to go gold next month, let's break it down. All right, I need 4 people in the month of December to join my team. Definitely need their backup orders on, okay? So it's December 5th. I need to look at my calendar and go, okay, I need to sign up a person every single week the rest of the month, at least one person. So, all right, so I got to sign up 4 people. Let's break that down even more. So each week, I need to be reaching out to a lot of people. So to increase your odds, because people go, well, I reached out to my 5, check, I'm done. Number 1, in Plexus, if you want to go all the way and you want to be a diamond, you got to do the over and above every day. And, if you're just like, 5, check 3, check 1. I reached out to 5, followed up with 3, and I watched a video. I'm good for the day. If you want to actually sign people to your team, you have got to increase your odds when you reach out. If you're reaching out to 1 or 2 people a week, ain't nobody going to join your team, because your odds are so low. If you're reaching out to 10 people per day, your odds are going to be really high that you're going to sign someone that week. If you're reaching out to 20 people, 20 people a day, you're definitely going to sign somebody to your team. It's an odds game. But if you're going, well, yeah, I'm reaching out to people, but you don't really do it, you reach out to a couple people a week, there's probably not going to be anybody that's going to sign up to join your team, because your odds are way, way too low. So get a plan in place. Be organized. Have a system. If you have goals, you're like, here are my goals. I need to figure out how I'm going to get there. Start breaking those down and find out, what does it look like for me to be on a path to gold or be on a path to Ruby? What does that look like? How many people do I need to add this month in order to achieve that goal? But I like to take it in little bitty snippets, but you've got to be organized. And my last tip tonight is be bold. You know, in this business, Plexus or any network marketing company, it is going to expose areas of your life, your personality, yourself that you never really did. You know, when went into my job, I was hired to do A, B, and C. And when A, B, and C was done, I went home. In Plexus, I mean, you've got to be a leader. You've got to step outside of your comfort zone all the time. You have to do things. You might have to stay up late. You might have to get up early. You got to go above and beyond to be successful. And you have to be bold. If you're sitting around going, no one's joining my team, my question to you is, are you asking them point blank, clear as a bell, girl, I want you to join my team. I want you to come do this with me. Will you join my team? Y'all, I'm telling you, 95% of the people doing Plexus do not do that. They're like, I don't really know how to say that. And I don't want to sell the person. I'm scared. I really don't. Guys, I look at that in this way, and it's kind of evolved because there are still people that I get nervous about reaching out to just because I'm like, man, that's like I just don't know. That makes me nervous to reach out to her. But I go back to the first day I joined. Andrea gave me the option to join. She did not force me to join. She did not blow me up till I just broke down and joined. She gave me the option. She goes, here's what you can do. Here's customer, and you can join. Cheapest way to do it is to join. All right, well, what's the scoop on that? That's the option I want. She didn't make the choice for me. And when we're not bold and we get scared and we don't reach out to people, it is so, y'all, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way because I do the same thing. It is flat out selfish. We are choosing for whoever we're talking to. We don't want to go outside our comfort zone. So we're going to be selfish and go, that doesn't feel good for me. So why don't you just be a customer first? Because that feels better for me. That's easier for me to talk about. Don't want to talk about the business because I don't want to be in a bad situation. I don't want to feel awkward. So I'm going to make the choice for you to be a customer because that feels better for me. Guys, that is selfish. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and I won't let myself do that. I just go ahead, just push on through. And guys, you'll be shocked at the people, the dream teamers, the people that you thought would shoot you down will go, all right, girl, I want it cheap. Tell me about it. So be bold and step out there and offer the business as an option. People worry about that so much. And guys, when you worry about what other people are doing before they do it, you can paralyze your business that way. You know, and you got to get a bunch of no's. If you go for no every single day, it's like, I'm going to message people until I get 3 no's. Well, if you message 3 people and they don't respond to you, then you know what? You need to increase your odds. Be bold and go for 3 no's a day. And then just see where it takes you. Because those no's a lot of time will come back around and they will turn into yeses. So those are my top tips for tonight, Angie. I know you said something about doing some Q&A or something. So I'll be happy to do that with you guys as well.
Yes, and I'm going to ask you the first question, and then I know we have one on here. But would you share, because I get a lot of times people tell me, like, I don't have time. I'm so busy. You know, I work full time. I have kids. And I like to share with them a lot, your story, because, I mean, you work full time in a very demanding job. You have twins. They're in activities. But, and you may have that, like, really specifically, like, share how you made that fit into your day.
Okay. Well, I think it all started with me being angry about where I was. Our will down deep in our heart is stronger than any physical thing. It's kind of like an adrenaline of the heart, I like to say, because I wanted to be home so bad that if you said, you're going to have to stay up, if you told me, okay, you can go to the top and you can stay home with your babies, but you got to stay up 2 hours extra late every night, I'd go, okay, whatever, I'll do whatever it takes. So that's where my heart was. It was whatever it takes. And so it was easy for me to work it into my life because it was a priority for me. This is my way out of that job, working for those people who don't care about me, don't care about my family. I'm going all the way. So every waking moment that I was not busy with my family or my kids, I was working Plexus. If I was taking my son, because a lot of people's like, well, my kids have practices. Like, really, are you in that engaged in every single, like basketball practice? My kids are both in basketball practice, 2 different locations. I sit on my phone and I do income producing activities. I don't, people go, well, my kid's in baseball, I have to go to baseball. Really, you're going to sit there for 3 hours and sit? Because your kid's not batting for 3 straight hours. Your kid is batting every other inning or whatever. And I mean, I take that in your face approach, because if you want this, you got to really want it. And I would, every time when I was not doing anything, if I was sitting at a red light, I was voice messaging a friend going, girl, come try the products with me. When I got in the parking garage at work, before I got out of my car, I'm like, okay, I'm going to send one last message. So I just fit it in the nooks and crannies of my day, but I wanted to. And every single day I made sure and had some type of action item that I was doing that I knew would bring income into my business and my home.
Okay, that was awesome. I love that. Okay, so I got a question here. It says, when you stated promoting each month, how many people did you reach out to per day? And how soon should we reach out to new people that we just became Facebook friends with?
I'm reading that. Hold on. I would reach out to about 10 people every single day. And, I think I go back to a time when I was watching a Cowboy game and I reached out to 60 people during the game. This was back when they were not winning. And every commercial, I would send out messages. And it was, I didn't have a limit. It was kind of like, okay, I'm on a roll. I have some time. I'm going to message as many people as I can before I have to do blah. So that's that part of it. I guess it depends on your question about how soon should you reach out to people you just became friends with on Facebook. I think it really depends on, how do you know them? Did you just add them and you have no idea who they are? Or do you know them and you just added them? It depends on the relationship, because I got to tell you, I'm not, if a stranger that I don't know just met me and then blows me up about Plexus immediately, I'm going to think they're crazy and I'm not going to want anything they got, because if you just meet someone, you're immediately trying to sell them something. That's not sincere. And I'm not preaching. I'm saying I've done that. It does not work out. It's very, very important to build a relationship with someone, build trust with someone, and organically go into a conversation about Plexus. Because, guys, it is so easy to talk about Plexus if you are actually building a relationship with someone. And if you go, hey, my name's Ellen, it's like at a sporting event. If our kids are playing, oh my gosh, yeah, does he have this teacher, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, well, what do you do for work? They tell you, 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask you, boom, door opened. If someone's in conversation, you talk about, oh, da, 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 you can talk about, yeah, girl, I've got to, you know what, I have to go. I've got to hop on a Plexus call tonight. Leave little tidbits here and there. You don't need to tell them the entire product line the first time you meet them. But I would just say, build that relationship first. Was that all the question? I think that was all of hers.
Yes. And then the next question is,
Do you want me to go down the chat, or you have other questions?
Yeah, it's on the questions. It's
too expensive, or
yeah, too expensive. Yeah, that one.
Oh, the top 3 reasons you're going to get are: it's too expensive, I don't have the time, and I'm not a salesperson. 9 times out of 10 is going to be one of those. When they say it's too expensive, I welcome that, because it's like, oh my gosh, girl, I thought the same thing. That's why I joined for the discount. You might talk to them about the money back guarantee. You might talk about like, hey, do you know a couple of friends that want to order from you if you did join? Just plant seeds. If they say it's too expensive, I'll drop a couple of hints and then I'm gone. I'm gone to the next person on my list. I'm not going to hang around waiting with bated breath, trying to wait on them to decide. I'm going to go on to the next person on my list and talk to them. So that's what I say about that. People will say, oh, that's too expensive, but then they turn around and they go do their nails and do whatever they want. And so it's a priority issue. If it's a money issue, check back in with them on payday, or ask them, hey, I'm going to check back in on you around payday. See if, I'm going to check back with you, and just do it. And maybe they may not be ready. They may secretly want to do it, but they can't do it right now. So we got to be patient with that. And anytime there's a special, or, like free shipping or the 10% off, I'm sending them the graphic in a private message, because that addresses the number one thing that they were concerned about, this expense. So that's kind of how I do that. Did I ever go backwards in rank? No. Luckily, I have gone forward every single month since I've started. And that is absolutely 100% because I live by prioritize, organize, and be bold. And I take action every single day. It's just my personality that I'm a go-getter, and I know how I got here, and I want it to keep going. So if you are actively reaching out and asking people to join your team, and you yourself are adding level 1s to your team, it's pretty sure your team is going to continue to move forward. If you yourself personally are not adding level 1s to your team, chances are your points will go backwards, your rank will go backwards. Somebody got a vacuum going?
I think that might be.
You might have to. Who is that? Somebody vacuuming their carpet. Okay. How many times do you continue to ask, or how often do you touch base for those that are on the fence? I think for me, until they've joined, I don't mark anybody off my list. I continue to follow up. If there is somebody who, responds like, I'm not interested right now, then I'm going to give them like maybe several months. And if anytime there's a special, that is kind of like one of those things. I don't care if you told me no, I'm going to still send you the special because you're my friend. And if you, 3 weeks from now, you decide, hey, I may give it a shot. I know I said no, but I'm going to always send my friends a special. I don't care if it's been too soon since I followed up. I'm just going to do it because they're my friend and I want them to get the best price. If people are on the fence, again, I move on down the list. You might have a fence sitters list that everybody who's like, girl, I'm going to do it as soon as payday comes. I'm going to check in with somebody on payday. If I see something, if there are specific medical issues or why they want to use the products, I'm going to find a testimony and I'm going to private message them. Hey girl, I was just thinking about you today when I've read this article. Or, oh my gosh, I just saw this Diamond documentary today about a girl that, I don't know, has your similar, has 3 kids and is a nurse or whatever the situation is. I'm going to private message them. I'm going to post specifically to their situation. If they are like, girl, I'm going to do it. I'm so busy at work. I just got to get a chance to, take time really, you're so busy at work, you posted 3 times a day. I'm going to post about how you can get time freedom back from working your Plexus business, and how, look on Diamond Documentary. There are people, like, that's one of the reasons that Celeste told Roz to join. Roz said, girl, I'm too busy. I got all this stuff going on. And she goes, that's the exact reason why you need to join, to get your time freedom back. So I'm going to talk specifically to them and post about their situation, send them messages, because you can send people articles or post about things without following up directly with them. So that's kind of a way around to follow up with them without following up, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we got here. When you would reach out, that's a great question. When I reach out, it really depends. I do both. When I cold message people, I have a relationship with them. I'm not just going to cold message someone I do not know. Those odds are very, very extremely low, because there's no relationship. This business is about a relationship and trust with your friends. And so I'll give you an example. I'll give you 2 examples. I went Diamond without ever talking to one person at my kids' school, without ever talking to anyone in my neighborhood, at any of the kids' games. And I got, I'm like, I have this whole bunch of people that hold on, I got a kid.
Do you know what smiling is?
No, sorry.
Hey, what are those pretzel covered, chocolate covered?
That's for my party. I'll be right back.
Save us something.
Yes. But I never talked to anybody in my neighborhood about Plexus, because number one, I'm like, I'm going to see those people every day. Do I really want to reach out to them? But a lot of those people, they already lived in the big house. They already drove the Lexus. Why would they want Plexus? And guys, I've tapped into a bunch of moms that I see all the time as a result of building a relationship with them through kids' sports and activities at school, and then reaching out to them, just building that relationship to the point where I'm like, now's my time to reach out. One of the examples is a girl who, her son was on my son's football team, and she was fun. She was all over Facebook. She loves social media. Everybody likes her. So I'm like, I want her on my team, but I don't know her. So I thought, well, I'm going to see her at the kids' sports. I'll just have to make sure and chat with her and kind of just find out about, what her likes are, dislikes. Our kids play together, so that's an easy one. Then I started wearing my Plexus shirt to football practice every day. Every day we had practice, I wore a different Plexus shirt. And one day, I wasn't even paying attention. She drove by in her car, and my shirt said, y'all need Plexus. And she screamed across the parking lot, girl, I need Plexus. And then boom, there we go. I was like, she said, tell me this, does it really work? And I said, it absolutely really works. She goes, how do I join? What? But I built that relationship with her, and I used a nonverbal advertisement to talk to her. And it took several exposures to it. So I built that relationship, and then I just said, girl, you got to come do this. Very, very informal. Another girl, she was a mom of one of the girls on my daughter's cheer team, and her husband coached my son in football, but I didn't really know her as well. So I had seen her on and off. I've probably seen her on and off for a year, and we never were in the same spot to get to talk or chat. And I had seen her at a couple events. And the other day I just said, hey girl, I'm going to run. I didn't even give her the choice. I just said, hey girl, I'm going to run some samples by your house. What's your address? She's like, oh, I would love some. Here's my address. So that's kind of some of the approaches I take. As far as how I do it, I voice text, I call, I email. I kind of find out how they best communicate, because just because someone is like, oh, they post on Facebook all day long, doesn't mean they like to communicate that way. So you may go, hey girl, can I call you? And it may be call, it may be text, it may be messenger. I just try to find out what is the best way to do it. Now, during that Cowboy game, I pretty much sat there and voice message, hey girl, you have got to come do Plexus. I'm telling you, these products are amazing and the business side is exploding right now. Holler at me. Next message, girl, what are you doing? I just saw you on Facebook doing blah, blah, blah. I'm serious. I'm going to run some samples by there. I'm going to make you take something fun, something informal. These are my close friends that, moms in the area that I just want to get samples in their hands. I want them to come do the business. But I think short, quick, to the point, get it out there. Don't send a bunch of paragraphs of, hey, check out my website. If you're interested, let me know. If someone does, you need to go, hey, I'd love for you to try these products. Let me know what you're interested in doing health-wise, and I'll help make some recommendations for you. Don't just assume everybody wants weight loss, because some people are like, that's weight loss, I don't want it. But if you go, hey, what are you looking to do health-wise, or what do you want to do? They may go, well, I'm having some GI issues or some gut issues. Okay, boom. Let's talk about gut health. So it really depends, but I say we have so many ways to communicate with technology and social media and phone and FaceTime and all that stuff. There's a million different ways we can communicate. So I would just say use what works best for you. Was that it, Angie, or we got more? Or did I leave something out? You're muted. Girl, you're muted.
Girl, I'm just talking away. I was saying all kinds of bad things about you.
I was reading your lips.
Sorry about that. Yes, thank you so much for taking time out of your super, super busy schedule to pour into all of us tonight, Ellen. We appreciate that so very much. And again, I'm so thankful to have you as a leader on this team, and I can't wait to see you next week.
I know, I'm excited.
So anyway, y'all have a good night tonight. I will record and post this call later on, and thank you all for getting on tonight.
See you later. Thanks, Angie.
Thank you.